This is Joe Imbriano, your host, coming to you live from the streets of sunny Southern California. Today is Monday, January 24th, 2022. I want to welcome you all to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, as we end the month here. On a more humorous note, this is your host, the Fullerton Informer, Joe Imbriano, PO Box 4121, Fullerton, California, 92834. On the web at thefullertoninformer.com, wifidangers.com, 5gdangers.com, celltowerdangers.com, and vaxdangers.com. And I might as well announce I've just acquired metaversedangers.com. That site's under construction. That one wasn't cheap, but I got that domain because we've got to wake everybody up to even that aspect of the coming attack on us, right? All right, so without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to this broadcast. I'm not broadcasting information, but I have a question for all of you today, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a question that, quite frankly, every time I'm asked, I feel like puking, okay? And the question is, are you staying safe and healthy? Yes! Are you staying safe and healthy? Well, of course, that's a rhetorical question, isn't it, if you're dealing with somebody that knows what's going on, right? Well, I will tell you, it's impossible to stay safe and to stay healthy if you follow the advice that is being dispensed by the so-called health officials. And I guess the biggest problem I have with the advice that's being dispensed from the local health officials is not what they're telling you to do, in as much as the information coming from the local health officials is really devoid of the pertinent information that is totally required to keep you safe and healthy, right? You know, I live in a city called Fullerton, California, and yes, it's on the 33rd parallel, folks. The weather's great, okay? That's also, by the way, the safest place to be in a plasma event, right? In a plasma changeover. For those of you who don't understand plasma, it's another state of matter that is poorly understood by design. And a lot of you that are into acid tripping and mushrooms and dope and drugs and coke and blow and meth and weed and jib and smack and heroin in the 70s had all these record albums, right? And all of these artists had these albums cut and put out, you know, these 33 and a third RPM records, these LPs, right? These long play records. They rotate at 33rd and a third RPM, right? The album sleeves had all kinds of artwork about plasma events. Very interesting. A lot of them even had pictures of 5G wafers, you know, the 5G chips that are going into all the weaponry. 40 years ago. Well, if you want to know how to stay safe and healthy, folks, I guess, you know, when I tell you where I live, it's because, you know, I don't live out on some farm in the boondocks where they can drone strike me and make it look like a suicide, right? Or they can send a goon squad out and, you know, do something to my family and make it look like I did it. A little hard to do when my neighbors kind of know what's going on all the time, right? But the point is, I live where I've got to go to the store to get certain items. And I grow a lot of my food, don't get me wrong. But I don't have cows in my backyard, okay? So when I go to the store, it is impossible to stay safe and healthy if you buy the things in the store. Because it's impossible to stay safe and healthy if you eat those things. I want to know why Fauci and Gates and Biden and you know, all of these teleprompter reader circus clown puppets that are working for the deniers of Jesus Christ as front men to put forth and dispense information and advice. Why is it that they're not closing down all of the food stamp program's ability to purchase sugar? You see, to keep you safe and healthy, they close down your church, they close down your restaurant, they close down your business, they close down your gym, and they close down your concerts, they close down your parks, they close down your playgrounds, they close down your children's schools. Well, maybe that's the only thing they did right. But they still allow everybody on food stamps or SNAP or EBT to buy junk food. I'm not going to knock people on public assistance, folks, because there are some people who are truly in an economic bind. Growing up, we were very poor. We had to collect cans on the beach to pay our utilities at times when my dad was between jobs. I remember when it used to rain, we used to have to put big blue tarp on the roof. We couldn't afford to fix the roof. Neighbors used to make fun of us. Neighbors used to make fun of us coming back from the beach in our 1971 Ford station wagon with bags of aluminum cans strapped to the roof in the mid to late 70s when gasoline started getting out of control and my dad started losing his jobs here and there. And, you know, people made fun of us because we were in a bind. We never went on public assistance. We didn't collect that stuff. But my point is, there are a lot of people on public assistance right now who are on it because they don't have a choice. But the big problem I have with the people on public assistance is not so much them. It is the people that are controlling the public assistance system that are enabling people to poison themselves with junk food. You know, I don't hear anything coming out of the mainstream media that's controlled by the deniers of Jesus Christ that literally want to kill everybody. That isn't on board with their agenda. And even if you are, they'll kill you anyway once they're done with you, if you haven't figured that out. Have you noticed how many people are getting whacked off now? Movies program. Guess what, folks? Once you're with the program, you never leave the program. You leave the earth with the program. You understand me? That's what they do. That's what they do. So why is it that you're allowed to buy garbage with your food stamps, right? Now, why is it that these people continue to buy garbage? Well, they're addicted to the garbage, and a lot of them don't know any better, okay? And so why isn't there a COVID shutdown of the food stamp program's ability to buy junk food? Why can people buy ice cream and all these processed foods that kill you, you know? And why can you use food stamps at the drive-thru of a fast food place, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. This is not all about just bashing people that are eating junk, folks. This is about exposing the fraud, okay? This is about exposing how the government does not have the intention of keeping you safe and healthy. Everything they say is just the opposite. That's right. Everything they tell you is the inversion of what you should do. Everything they tell you is good is bad. Everything they tell you is bad is good. Why is it that the school districts are handing out wireless hotspots for free? Why is it that the school districts are giving children free internet access that involve wireless routers in the homes? Why is it that the school districts are giving out laptops and infertility pads and Chromebooks that are all wireless for free? Why is it that it's free, folks? Well, do they tell you how this stuff keeps you awake at night and you can't sleep? Now think about this for just a second. Why is it that the energy companies will come into your house or your apartment and give you free stuff that's energy efficient? Why is it that they will give you these LED light bulbs, right? Why is it that they give you all this free stuff that hurts you? I just said it, folks. They give you all this free stuff that hurts you. Are you staying safe and healthy, ladies and gentlemen? Are you kidding me? Come on! Everything they do is absolutely in diametric opposition to common sense and to health. The food pyramid needs to be turned upside down. The TV set needs to be turned off. These teachers and professors need to be tuned out. And these churches need to be shut down. All right? Because none of these people have your back, folks. And so it's time you have your own back. Now, I'm going to go into something here that we need to talk about. I'm not going to get esoteric. I think if we're going to get esoteric, I can bring Daniel on and we can go into some depth again at some point. You need to understand what's involved with being safe and healthy, folks, and it doesn't have anything to do with the information in those school textbooks or in that Sunday school program or in that pastor's message, okay? Let me tell you really quickly about the Bible and the church and Jesus Christ, okay? I'm going to sum it up really quick. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And no one comes to the Father but through him. That's what he said, not me. And that's a fact. Jesus also said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Okay? He also said, I am the door, right? He's the door. Okay? Folks, that's it. You don't need some guy to sit up there and pickpocket you and spin your head on Sunday morning as you go outside and eat donuts. Isn't that funny? Churches give out donuts, and they're not even free anymore. They sell them to you. What are donuts made out of? Enriched, bleached, glyphosate-laced GMO wheat flour, sugar, artificial colors, artificial flavors, artificially color-flavored sprinkles. You love that, don't you? Right? Your kids love it too. Your children love them too, don't they? And they're deep-fried in rapeseed oil and dimethyl siloxane laced garbage, and the church has them out for you to have in the morning. Oh, they're not telling you about what's going on. They're making you wear a mask. They're promoting NASA. They're promoting the CDC recommendations. They're promoting the virus narrative. They're promoting the medical system. And they're promoting the deniers of Jesus Christ's eschatology, right? You people, you know, what they've done. Now the schools, oh my gosh, you know, I hear from some of these, I might as well make a mention of, I guess it's Troy High School in Fullerton. I've had plenty to say about that hellhole, right? But they've got the students at Troy High School being the mask police now, to where now the students at Troy High School are bullying students that don't wear a mask outside and even in the school. Did you know that there are exemptions to this so-called mask mandate? But the school district and the teachers will never tell you about the medical condition mask mandate exemption in California. Did you know that if you have a health condition, a medical condition, or a mental condition, that you are exempt from this so-called mask mandate that's really nothing more than health guidance that was put out by Mark Galey, who is the public health officer for the state of California. And it did not come down in the form of a law. It came out in the form of guidance. Look at it yourself. Okay, so what we have are students bullying and making fun of students who want to breathe. And this is all taking place in a hellhole called Troy High School that is staffed by a bunch of alcoholic scum that is surrounded by sheet metal walls with super high-powered access points that are weaponized wireless transmitters that at some point are going to get flipped on with the frequencies changed, and you're going to see stuff happen to children in that place. And my advice to you is, if you're in that school, get out. There's no reason to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and stay up till 2 in the morning doing homework of the road to nowhere. Most of the big companies now don't require education as a pretext to, or a requirement to getting a position with them. You know, a degree isn't worth what it's not worth your brain development. It's not worth your health. And jeopardizing your life by going into a wireless sheet metal prison with all these high-powered access points on the ceiling where everyone's bullying you into wearing a face diaper. It's not worth it, folks. So hey, and you parents that made fun of me for trying to expose all this, well, the joke's on you and your children, not mine. And shame on all of you degenerate scum parents that mocked the messenger for all these years. And you know who you are. I'm not going to mention your names. You know exactly who you are. And I'll be honest with you, God's judgment is abiding over your head like a cloud that never leaves, and it's going to stay there until you repent. All right, so how do you stay safe and healthy when you're living in a world full of poisonous food and weaponized technology being deployed everywhere? Well, it's pretty simple, folks. You see, food comes from God. God makes food. People don't make food, ladies and gentlemen. God does. Okay? How does he do it? Well, through a marvelous series of processes called photosynthesis and aerobic metabolism, right? And when I say that, you have plants that take sunlight and water and photosynthesize. They uptake water and nutrients and nitrogen from the soil, and they uptake carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and they utilize and capture these photons of light that comes from the lens called the sun. No, it's not some burning ball of gas. The sun is a lens, folks. By the way, you see how the school has destroyed your brain and makes you think that the sun is a gigantic gas ball that's a billion miles away, or whatever they tell you? I'll tell you what, folks. Any of you that can have enough common sense to look through the fog or look through the clouds, when you have low clouds or fog in the morning, you can see the sun, and it looks just like the moon. It's the same size as the moon. It's the same distance as the moon. Your eyes will tell you that, folks. Oh, the scientists will give you all these equations, right? You know, I was in the thrift store and I saw this calculus book, and somebody at some point had paid $250 for this calculus book, and it was on sale for $1, right? And I didn't buy it because, you know, I said to my daughter, I said, hey, do you want to take calculus? And she's like, no, Dad, what for? And I'm like, okay. End of that discussion. So I'm opening this thing up, and I remember I had calculus my senior year of high school back in the 80s. And I remember I had this guy, this teacher, he looked like Bozo the Clown. I mean, all his hair fell out from yanking it out, from dealing with all this complex, you know, all these crazy equations, right? You know, folks, there's only a handful of people in the world that need that kind of education, and that's if you're going to go work for the weaponization entities in these electronic engineering outfits. You see, they're not trying to figure out how to make stuff to make our lives better, folks. They're trying to figure out how to make stuff to kill us, okay? And that's why you've got, you know, Wi-Fi 6 coming out, right? And 5G and all these weaponized frequencies and all these weaponized transmitters and all this, and then you have all this advanced chemistry, and so you can work for these companies that can make weaponized food and genetically modify crops and engineering all kinds of weird stuff into the food, right? So no, folks, you don't need this literal baloney education. You need to go back to basics. God makes the food from the sun and the water and the dirt and the air, okay? And the minerals. The stuff that gets left over from when fires burn everything, and all that remains is the minerals, right? So the plants and the trees and the bushes and the root vegetables and the fruit trees and the vines and everything, they uptake all this stuff and turn it into something magical. And when I say magical, it is magical, okay? And I'm not talking about black magic like the black magicians of Hollywood and these freaking sorcerers at the okay? I'm talking magic, God's magic, the unexplainable magic where he creates food for us to eat out of thin air and light, okay? When you eat stuff that doesn't come from that process, you're killing yourself, okay? When you open up something that comes in a can or a box that doesn't come in its natural form, you are rolling the dice, okay? You want to stay safe and healthy? Really? Then why are you all masked up, breathing a bunch of hand sanitizer and alcohol and sanitizer vapor, with your windows sealed, 5 Wi-Fi routers going, your heater burning up all the oxygen, with your plug-in air fresheners poisoning the air, your heater depleting all the oxygen, the Wi-Fi depleting all your melatonin, making it so you can't sleep, and you got all these energy-efficient light bulbs that are making you go blind and giving you insomnia, and you're loading up with a bunch of microwaved, deep-fried crap and sugar. Do you want to stay safe and healthy? Are you kidding me? Come on! What is this? Oh, and I forgot the television. That big alien abduction light system. You know, you walk around the neighborhood and you see all these houses look like there's an alien abduction taking place in the living room. There's these blue flashes. It's hilarious. The worst thing you can do at night is look at blue light. What do they do with all the TV programs? They're all blue. What do they do? All the TV and LED lights are all bluish white. All these LED light strips that the children are putting in their rooms, all blue light. iPads, blue light. Cell phones, blue light. Computer screens, blue light. That's the default. It's by design. Sugar, garbage, preservatives. Then they give you the meds, right? So you can't tell the difference between the belleza and the tristeza. You become a flatline zombie, right? They put you on these serotonin reuptake inhibitors, flatlining your emotions, taking away your happiness and your sadness, the ups and downs, making you a zombie, right? That's the solution. Oh, and then they give you all this health advice, right? They want you to take all these vaccines, and they want you to wear masks all the time. They don't want you outside because they're afraid you're going to be afraid of catching something through the air, right? And they want you sticking a probe into your brain cavity to literally pop the barrier up there, so when they put stuff on at some point, you'll hemorrhage, right? Folks, I'm not... Are you kidding me? You know, I remember John Travolta in Welcome Back, Kotter. Was it him? Is up your nose with the rubber hose, right? Remember that guy? I can't do the accent. I'm not good at that. Folks, you want to stay safe and healthy. You need to eat food that's grown in the sun and in the dirt. You need to eat food that's grown outside. That stuff in the store is grown under fake lights and chemical slurries with volcanic rock soil. I mean, these heads of lettuce, they're growing on a little ball of dirt about that big right there, folks. That's how big the ball of dirt is. This plant's like this big, okay? Normally, you know, a plant will take 5 gallons worth of roots and soil. These different lights that you're bringing into your house, these artificial weaponized lighting systems, these LED lights you're bringing in your house, they're also using this in these greenhouses to grow all this food. Did you know that? And then, you know, a lot of the food that you're buying in the store, it's picked green, it's loaded with chemical pesticides and fertilizers, and then they gas it with ethylene when it's ready to be put on the shelf. Then they shellac it with better stuff than I put on my 28-year-old BMW, right? Folks, I'm not kidding. I'm not making this stuff up. This isn't a joke. I'll tell you what is a joke, folks. It is all the stuff, it's all the stuff that you think that is right, that is totally wrong. I'll tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, you better get prepared for some things that are coming. I've warned all of you for a long time about how to take care of your health. I've got, literally 1,000 videos out there, and I'm not kidding. I've got close to 1,000 videos out there. You need to prepare with healthy lifestyle changes. I guess some of you are just getting the notifications right now. All right. Yeah, a lot of you didn't get this video. By the way, get the likes up on this thing. Can I get all of you to get the likes up? If I'm going to give you 25, 30 minutes of my time, at least push the button for me, okay? All right, so, it's pretty obvious what's going on, okay? And by the way, you need to get good storable protein, folks. Good storable protein. I don't care what your proclivities are, whether you're a vegetarian or whether you're a carnivore, whether you like tuna fish or ribeye or beans, whatever the case may be, there is going to be major disruptions in the food supply. I've talked about this many times, folks. Many times I've talked to you about this. No, your pastor's not going to tell you about this. Your pastor takes up a collection every Sunday because your pastor's a crook. Any church that takes up a collection that is not telling you what's going on is a criminal. Now, there are some churches out there that are worth their weight in gold, that are warning you about what's going on and telling you the truth, and you need to support the heck out of those people because they're risking their life. Kind of like I am, except I don't have a donate button. I'm just telling you the truth because you want to know something, folks? I got nothing to lose and everything to gain because there is going to come a point where God is going to say to me, well done, good and faithful servant. And that is worth more than anything in the world, folks. Now, are you staying safe and healthy? You got Wi-Fi in your house? You're not staying safe and healthy. Are you eating processed foods? You're not staying safe and healthy. You eating sugar? You're not staying safe and healthy. Now, folks, listen. I'm not on a 100% ketogenic diet. I'll have a little piece of candy once in a blue moon. I mean, come on. My wife made an amazing tiramisu, right? The other night. It was amazing. Organic whole whipping cream and organic coffee and whatever else she put in this thing. It was amazing, okay? I'm not going to say no to that. But you know what? I'm not having all this disgusting crap that they sell in the store in my house, okay? And one of my sons, he tells me about the things he sees in his line of work, and he tells me about some of the shopping habits of some of these people, and it's disgusting, okay? And if you people out there, I want to tell you something. If you folks are out there listening to me right now, get off the sugar. Get off the sugar, okay? All the money in the world cannot bring your health back, okay? All the money in the world cannot fix your health once it's wrecked. Get off the sugar, folks, okay? Sugar is probably, next to the television, is probably the biggest weapon they have on us, okay? The television is by far the biggest weapon that is in existence, in operation, that has been deployed against us, okay? And the television makes possible all of the other weapons to be aimed at us and deployed on us, okay? Those two things right there, the TV and the sugar, drive all the rest of the agendas, okay? Because once you get on the sugar, Because if you're on the TV, you'll get hypnotized into eating the sugar. Once you get on the sugar, you will be forced to go into the doctor because your health will fall apart, okay? Everything else, your teeth will start rotting out. You'll have all these issues with your weight and infections, and inflammation, and heart issues. And then once you end up in the doctor's office, okay, then you're going to end up on the medications. And once you end up on those medications, then all 4 of your appendages are on the pharmacological flypaper, and you're trapped, okay? If you want to really be safe and healthy, folks, I want you to start doing me a favor, okay? Clean up your life from sin. First and foremost, the television is probably the biggest problem everybody has, okay? And, you know, you could sit in church every Sunday, and these worthless pieces of crap, criminal religious leaders will never tell you to destroy your television. They will never go after the deniers of Jesus Christ's mind control system because they work for them. They're owned by them because they're told not to. And there's a reason why, you know, these guys are taking your money, because they're crooks, okay? Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. And let me tell you something about Jesus Christ, folks. He didn't charge you anything he gave his life down for us for free. He didn't charge us. There's no dues to pay. And if you're in one of these cults that makes you pay 30% of your income, get out. I don't care what your parents raised you in. It's all mind control cults. If they're taking your money, get out. If they're taking your money and filling your head full of crap and selling you donuts on the way to your car, get out. Jesus will give you the power and the wisdom to see, folks. You know, it's funny. I remember going to Catholic church for, gosh, let's see, since I was a child, I don't know, 25 years. Blind as a bat, folks. I had no clue. That priest never taught you anything, went through these rituals. He never warned you about all the crap that was being done to you. And I remember being in Catholic school, at the modern day high school in Santa Ana. And there's this guy named Father Harris who was the principal, and he got busted for taking the young students up to the mountains and having his way with these guys. He would take boys up to the mountains on a retreat and do stuff with them. This is a grown man taking young high school students up to the mountains, and he got busted, right? And I remember sitting in these pep rallies, right? And they'd be playing AC/DC Highway to Hell at a Catholic high school's pep rally, right? The cheerleaders are out there. And some of those cheerleaders were gorgeous, right? These young girls. I remember when I was in high school, they were very attractive, very healthy, because back then the girls were attractive because they were staying safe and healthy, right? Because they didn't have all this crap to eat. At least it wasn't shoved down their face every night, right? They didn't have all this Wi-Fi messing up their insulin receptors, right? But my point is, this religious institution that's supposedly holier than thou is actually at the very top run by a bunch of satanic pedophiles. It's a bunch of crap, okay? Oh yeah, they took your money. They took your money for the tuition. They took your money for the donations. And what do they give you in return? Nothing. They never warned us once. All they did was lead us right into the media's traps, right into studying to become a weaponized idiot working for the system, right? Oh yeah, the holy water. That was a good one. Oh yeah. Oh, rest her soul. My dad's mom, my grandma, my nanny, she used to call it the Acqua Santa. Acqua Santa. You know, she was an Italian. She always had a bottle of this holy water. And I kid you not, she had these bottles of holy water all over her place in the north end of Boston. And when I realized, years later, you know, as I grew up, I realized that all of the holy water was kept in her old medicine bottles. They had her on meds. She said, come on! What is this? Why, folks? If you want to stay safe and healthy, you need to clean up your mind, clear your head. You know, you got to get off the pills, get off the sugar, get off the dope. Yeah, you got to get off the dope, folks. I'm sorry, but you know, everybody I know that smokes dope's got problems. Okay, and you know, all these things. And by the way, the reason they're pushing marijuana right now is it does take your breath away. I want you to remember that every time you take a rip off that bong or off that joint, it's going to tighten up your respiratory tract. It's going to restrict your lung capacity, and it's going to damage your airways. Okay, marijuana is being pushed for a reason, folks. And now they're saying that these CBD derivatives supposedly fight this so-called virus. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, let's get they're pushing. They got the food stamp card where you go to the drive-thru and supersize me, get a big old milkshake. They got these marijuana dispensaries everywhere now, so you can get all stoned and eat milkshakes and sit in front of a giant TV and have all your deep-fried chili cheese fries delivered with the Uber Eats app. Come on, folks, wake up. Wake up. They're freaking killing you. And you're doing it to yourself because they've turned you into a moron. Their solution to you after they give you weaponized Wi-Fi, weaponized sunglasses, poisons in the water, poisonous food, fake food, toxic food, horrible suicide yourself music, movies that make you want to kill yourself and have sex with things you're not supposed to, and have nightmares all night long and lack sleep. And their solution is to wear a mask and cut off your oxygen and take injections and have these swabs stuck into your brain cavity. Are you kidding me? Oh, they're going to pay for this, folks. Trust me. They will. Because it's already falling apart. But here's the problem. As I said all along, this whole thing right now is just a drill. You see, folks, once they pop your brain cavity and get you loaded up with all kinds of toxins, they're just going to crank up the towers. And all these things you saw in the movies are going to come true because people are going to be bleeding out of their nose and their ears and their mouth and their eyeballs. Because it's not hard to crank up the frequencies and make you hemorrhage, especially when they busted your hymen inside your freaking brain. Do you understand me? All right. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Okay? And let me tell you something. You don't need no circus clown that supposedly has all the answers with the secret decoder ring. All these churches at this point, except for a handful, and I mean that. I'm talking like maybe there's probably 5 good churches in the country, if there's even that many left. Okay? I can't find any in California. Okay? There's none here. They're all, the ones I visit, they're a freaking joke. It's all psychology and emasculation, okay? Jesus is the way. If you want to get right with him, I'll tell you what, folks. You take your dope, you flush it down the toilet, you throw your pills away, right? And you unplug that thing and stop watching it. Stop letting your fingers do the walking to websites you shouldn't be going to, okay? Do you understand me? You need to start taking some initiative on your own. Now, don't give me this keeping the law business, okay? The law was abolished. It's done, okay? Listen, Jesus said his yoke is easy, okay? We don't walk around with the phylacteries and the burden of all of these feasts, and we're not going back there, okay? We're not going back to it, okay? Jesus fulfilled the law. The law is now written on our hearts. We don't have to go back to what Jesus came to set us free from. What did Jesus do on the Sabbath? Was he out in the field with his buddies picking food, and he got in trouble because he's not supposed to be out there picking food? Listen, folks, the 10 Commandments are there for a reason, okay? The 10 Commandments are there to keep the unregenerate human being in line. When you're a born-again Christian, you don't kill people. You don't break those commandments, folks. All right? When you're filled with the Holy Spirit, your conscience won't let you go there. Okay? But see, that's the very problem. These churches teach you got to keep all these rituals, and they don't warn you about all the traps of the Hollywood mind control satanic perversion. Okay? Those are the facts, folks. All these churches that are not warning you about the movie industry, the music industry, the video game industry, the medical system, and the educational system, they're all in on it, folks. Okay? I mean, come on. I'll be honest with you. If you just shut off the TV and stop listening to the lies, and nothing's changed out there, folks. The world hasn't changed. What's changed is everyone's perception of it. Yeah, they've passed all these laws. Yeah, there's all these restrictions. But you know what? The raccoons, the skunks, the possums, the squirrels, the rats, the bats, the owls, the falcons, the mockingbirds, the hummingbirds, the blue jays, the cowbirds, the ducks, the geese, the cockroaches, the earthworms, the termites, the skunks, everything is still mating. The coyotes are still mating. Everything is still... I haven't seen one dead bird, one dead possum, one dead coyote, one dead rat. Well, nothing! Only people with masks. Only people lining up to get a 10-inch Q-tip shoved into their brain cavity. Because nothing's changed, folks. It's all on the frickin' television. And it's all being waged on all the unsuspecting masses who are being led to slaughter by the criminals in the educational system, the criminals in the media, the criminals in the medical system, and most of all, the criminals in the pulpit. In the name of Jesus Christ, may the Lord rebuke all of the lies and the liars, and may they have their part in the lake of fire, which burneth forever and ever. In Jesus' name. All right, folks, take care. It's been a good broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Don't let them get you. Stay safe and healthy. Take care.